how to build 40k ruins the easy way. In this video I'm going to show you how you can make something like this very easily and for very little money. And it starts with some foam board, which is like this, and it's surprisingly cheap. I'll add a link in the description below. So the idea was to create some terrain that would actually work well in the game, so not just look good but actually work. So I wanted the windows to be quite big, because a lot of people fall into the trap of making these thin Gothic windows, and I wanted something that would be more playable than anything. After doing a bit of research, I found out that a good size is 8 inches wide and 6 inches high. I've also added a first floor, which is exactly 3 inches up, and I've done that intentionally because that's a good distance for units to be able to move up, and by shooting down from the 3 inches they get a bonus to their attack roll. So I'm still learning the game, but I do know that much, and I thought it'd be pretty cool to make some terrain for the new 11th edition, which is a box that I will be working on at some point when I get around to it. Now you'll notice here I'm actually drawing directly into the foam to create an indent, which should make it easier for me when I'm actually carving it out. You don't have to do this. You could actually draw it straight onto the foam and rub it out as you go along if you're not happy with anything. Just obviously don't press on too hard because you don't want indents in there where you wouldn't want them to be. And to cut it, I'm using a snap blade. So whenever I'm using the snap blade, it's always best to snap off the blade that's quite dull, so you can get cleaner cuts. Whenever you kind of notice that the blade is starting to drag and it's not cutting as cleanly as it first was, it's always good to then snap off the blade and start again. The actual blades themselves aren't too expensive, and if you haven't got a snap blade and you want to get into terrain making of any kind, it is definitely worth getting one. You don't need to get a nice fancy one, just any decent snap blade. I got mine from Screwfix, but you will use it a lot if you do plan on getting into terrain making, I guarantee it. So when you're ready to go, it's always best to kind of score a line where you plan to cut. So that's just like a shallow cut, as I'm doing here. So you just want to shallow cut through the lines, and then once you've done that all the way around, you can do it again and press on a bit deeper and cut all the way through. Take your time with it. It's completely fine to do multiple passes. If I want to cut the first one out, I could literally use that as a template from the second one by just drawing around it and then following the process again and cutting it all out. And the next piece was just planning on how I wanted the floor to look. So again, I want it to look ruined, so I don't want it to be just a square. So I just planned out what exactly I was going to do and then carved that onto the foam as well. And the same again with the first floor, which I decided to make it not quite so big as the bottom floor. I just think it looks a bit better that way. And then as it's ruins, I just wanted to cut across an unstraight line on both of the sides of the ruin, so that it looked damaged from war. So yeah, I just had some fun just creating my own design and cutting through those window joints. Another key important thing to do is to what's known as beveling the floors, and all this means is to just kind of cut a diagonal line across. Honestly, it's not hard to do. Don't worry about it being perfect. It is really worth it. It just kind of creates a slanted effect, so it's like a lip almost, because you don't want it to just be a sudden step. It would just look a little bit odd. This looks a lot more natural, and it really does make a difference. Honestly, give it a go. It's not tricky to do, and don't worry if you mess it up. You can always do another one, because foam board is not too expensive and it's good to practice on it, and because the more you do it, the better you'll get, and you'll get more confident to do more elaborate designs. So you will have noticed so far that all the materials I've used have not been expensive, and this is no exception. This is a little pink hot glue gun, very cheap. You don't need to get an expensive one. I probably will invest in a more expensive gun, but you do get quite diminishing returns on them. They warm up a bit faster, they'll be less stringy in terms of the beads, but the more important aspect of it is getting a decent glue sticks for the gun itself. The actual glue gun, you don't need to spend a fortune. I mean, this is as cheap as it gets and it's doing the job. You can also use PVA glue, you'll probably get a better stick overall with that, but then it would take much longer to actually glue together. I'm talking about like leaving it overnight, and you'd need to kind of pin the pieces together. By using a hot glue gun, you're just going to get it virtually straight away. So that's why I've used it in this example. And already it's looking pretty decent. I mean, you could use this from the get-go. You could literally just use it as a piece if you're not bothered about colour, and you could have some fun with it, and you could make some different ruins. If you have liked the video so far, please do like and subscribe. It really does help me out. I do plan on actually expanding on this as a series and experimenting with different materials to the ruins, using different painting techniques, and hopefully you'll learn with me along the way. This part is important. I use a mix of black paint, some Mod Podge, and also I use just a splash of water, and I put them all in my pot and stir them all together. I have actually found out recently you can actually get black Mod Podge. I think it is quite expensive, but I do really want to test that out because that sounds amazing. If you can get a good consistency and colour without much effort, and that does sound great. And what this does is it seals the foam. You want to paint it all over the foam, and it toughens it up a little bit, and it allows the foam itself to take paint better. So when you add the extra layers, it won't kind of soak into the foam so much. So it is definitely not something I'd recommend skipping on. If you think Mod Podge is too expensive, that's completely fine. I'll include a link in the description as to where you can find it. I did get mine from the range. You will find that it's cheaper from craft stores, or going to places such as the range. So I would recommend shopping about. Or you can use PVA glue. PVA glue and paint also works completely fine. It won't be quite as strong as Mod Podge, but I've used a mixture of PVA and paint in other pieces of terrain that I've done, and it works completely fine. Next I'm going to use a Payne's grey colour, and what this is, it's like a dark grey that also has a very faint blue hue, and this is going to give the piece darkness and depth. And I'm just going to do a very heavy dry brush all over for this, completely all over the piece, nice and simple. The only part I personally didn't bother with was underneath, because you wouldn't see that on the gaming table. But of course, if you want to do that, absolutely no problem. I'm trying to keep this as beginner friendly as possible, using few colours and keeping it nice and simple from the first video on how to do these pieces. And already you can see it's starting to look much better with a much cleaner, crisp colour. What I'm going to do now is go all over with another heavy dry brush, not quite so heavy as the Payne's grey. This is just going to be a neutral grey. I'll still go quite heavy with this. The idea of dry brushing is that rather than just try and cover the entire piece, you wet the brush with the paint, and then you try to remove some of the paint off on a paper towel, and then you just apply it. What I do here is, rather than use a paper towel, I just do the first few brushes on the very top of the building, because you want that to be a lighter grey anyway. So if you get rid of the excess on the bits where you want it to be a light grey, and then continue to apply elsewhere on the piece, I found this worked pretty well. Make sure you've got some decent light so you can see how it's looking, and then just go over it. You're not looking for perfection, just enjoy the process, learn these kind of skills as you go along, and you'll end up with something you're happy with. Remember as well, if you're not happy with how it looks, you can always just go back over with the Payne's grey, wait for that to dry, and then apply the neutral grey again. So there's no pressure, just get it looking the way that you would like it to look, and that's it. And this was the final look. I'm very happy with it for a first attempt. Like I say, I do plan on expanding on this and adding new materials and techniques. If you'd like to see more of this, please do subscribe and comment below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.